Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name's Linda Sperry, and I'm your worship associate for this morning. Welcome to Orange Coast Unitarian Universalist Church. I'm joined by Reverend Sian Wiltshire, our minister, Jacob Swetlin, our director of music ministries, and Danielle Lewis, who is our director of religious education for children and youth. Oh, she gets an applause this morning. We all welcome you this morning. And whether you have been here 30 years or 3 years, 10 months or 10 minutes, and whether you strolled, rolled, Zoom, ran, or danced in, we're glad that you've joined us. I want to extend a special welcome to visitors. If you're seeking a spiritual home, we hope that you'll find it here. We're a community of many different beliefs. We're bound together not by dogmas or creeds, but rather a covenant to create a welcoming and loving community. We need not think alike to love alike. In the spirit of building this community, let's recognize the many volunteers who have helped to put this service together today. Thank you, all of you. Roomers, we invite you to silence your cell phone. You don't want to be that one person whose phone goes off in the middle of the service with a duck call or something like that. Zoomers, we invite you to say hello in the chat. And as we worship today, let us acknowledge that our church property rests on the sacred ancestral homelands of the Akachaman and Tongva people who seek justice and responsible stewardship. So we begin our worship with the lighting of our chalice. And this morning, I'd like to ask Julie Crawford and Zoe to come up and light the chalice for us. And as they light our chalice, we'll say our unison affirmation together. And these guys have been around a long time. We've seen her go from here to here. So we welcome both of you. Okay, love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. To dwell together in peace, to seek truth and love, and to help one another. This we affirm together. Thank you so much.
Please rise in body or spirit, and let's sing our opening song. One quick announcement. This is Julian's last Sunday. Now, so after service, if you could just give him great words of praise. He's been so amazing these past few months. So thank you, Julian. Thank you. Thank you. So without further ado, let's sing our opening song, When Our Heart is in a Holy Place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we trust the wisdom in each of us, every color, every creed and kind, and we see our faces in each other's eyes, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we tell the story from deep inside, and we listen with a loving mind, and we hear our voices in each other's words, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we share the silence of sacred space, and the God of our heart stirs within, and we feel the power of each other's faith, then our heart is in a holy place. when our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace, when our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place.
There are many types of love. There's the love of family, whether that's what we are born into or what we choose, that brings us into being, allows us to bloom, and then sends us on our way with courage. There's the love of the partnered hearts that teach us to trust and help know who we are does not end at the barrier of our own skin. There's the love of friends who help us feel seen and sing our song back to us when we cannot hear it with our ears alone. There's the love of community that bathes us in belonging and calls us to see the needs of others as our own. And then there's the greatest love, the love that will not let us go, even in our fear, even in our failure, even when we are lonely or lost. Love invites us home, and if we listen, it is doing so even today.
And God said, let there be light.
And God said, let there be life.
And God said, let there be love. And light filled the universe.
And life spread across the earth.
And love blooms right where we are. Then light said, I bring you life.
And life said, I bring you love.
And love said, we are the light. When light shines from every face,
And life thrives in natural grace.
then love blooms right where we are. And God said, let there be light.
And God said, let there be life.
And God said, let there be love. And light filled the universe.
And life spread across the earth.
And love blooms right where we are. Our minds grow in seeking light.
Our hearts serve to nurture life.
Our hands plant the seeds of love. When light guides the life we lead,
Our heart knows the way to live.
and love blooms right where we are. And God said, let there be light.
And God said, let there be life.
And God said, let there be love. And light filled the universe.
And life spread across the earth.
And love blooms right where we are. Then love said, with light we shine.
And light showed the path to climb.
And life said, love transcends time. our hands join to share our light.
Dark turns bright when minds ignite.
Our lives leap the fruits of love. And God said, "Let there be light."
If you missed it, we had our Music Under the Stars last night, a wonderful show, and I heard them sing this song, and I was like, that's perfect for today. Can you do it? And so they got up early and came here to do it, so bless their hearts. So, all right, our story for this morning, for all the children and the children at heart, is a story called Try to Love a Stone. It was written originally by Richard Rohr, and I've adapted it only just a little bit. So once upon a time, there was a young Jewish boy who went to his rabbi, and he said, I don't know how to love God. How can I love God when I've never seen God? I think I understand how to love my parents and my siblings and maybe even my dog, but I don't know how I'm supposed to love God. So the rabbi kind of looked at the boy and he said, okay, well, let's start with a stone. Just try loving a stone. Try to be present to the most simple and basic thing in reality so you can see its goodness and beauty. And then let that goodness and beauty come into you, let it speak to you. Just start with a stone. The boy kind of nodded and he said, okay, so once you can do that, then start with a flower. Try a flower. See if you can love a flower. If you can be present to it, again, let its beauty enter into you. You don't have to pluck it or possess it. You can just love it. The boy nodded again. Then he said, try to love the sky and the mountains, the beauty of all creation. Try to be present to its many forms and let it speak to you. And again, let it come into you. I thought, okay, I think I can do that. The rabbi said, then think of your dog, okay? And then all of the animals that you see, the cats, the rabbits, and the pigs, and all those you've only seen in a zoo. Notice each of them, whether you see them in TV or in a book or at the zoo. Notice their beauty, their uniqueness, and let that come into you and let your love flow. The boy nodded again. And then said the rabbi, I want you to try to love a stranger. Someone you don't know very well. Notice their beauty, be present to them. Look them in the eye. See their beauty and reflect it back to them. Like you, they're someone's child or they're someone's parent. And you know how to love your parents. So let their soul, their beauty come into you and love them. And after you have done all of this, after you've loved a stone and a flower, the earth, the sky, the animals, and a stranger, then you will know how to love God because you will already have done so. And that's our story for today. I'd like to invite Danielle Lewis up here, our Director of Religious Education, as she lights the children's chalice, and then we'll sing our children and the teachers out to their religious education classes.
We hold you in our love as you go, as you go. May your heart be at peace as you go. To nurture the spark of your precious life. We hold you in our love as you go.
Usually they're like running out. So I think maybe somebody was up late last night or something. They're like, okay, all right. Well, if you haven't caught on to the theme for today, it's about love. And this actually came about in part because of a wonderful conversation with our very own Marilyn Giss, who faced a rather difficult time in her life and still does, but she had some really meaningful things that got me thinking that we need to talk about this. So, but our reading today is about invoking love in our life. What happens when we do that? And my colleague, who is also a poet, this is Sean Parker Dennison. He's also, by the way, if you didn't know, our new regional lead for the Western region. So, yeah. And yes, you know him, don't you? Yes. From Rogue Valley in Ashland, Oregon. He was the minister there. And the other interesting thing that's kind of interesting about Sean is that he's also a trans man. But he's also a beautiful poet. He has this wonderful book called Breaking and Blessing. He wrote this: to invoke love. To invoke love is to ask for a hug from a thunderstorm, spill tea in the lap of the infinite trickster, to make the biggest, most embarrassing mistake of your life in front of everyone who matters. To invoke love is to never know if it will come softly with the nuzzle of a beloved dog, or pounce right on your chest with the strength of a lioness protecting her cub, her pride, her homeland. To invoke love is to take the risk of inviting chaos to visit the spaces you spend so much time making tidy, and watch as the breath of life scatters everything you have just folded and put away. To invoke love is to allow for the possibility that your words and actions might become so empowered you can no longer believe in apathy or the self-righteous idea that nothing can change. To invoke love is to give up self-deprecation, false humility, pride, to consider yourself worthy to be made whole, willing to encounter love that will never let us let each other go. To invoke love is to guard against assumptions, take care with our words, and practice forgiveness, not as an ethereal ideal, but right here in the messy midst of our imperfect lives. To invoke love is to approach each day and every person with wonder, anticipating love's arrival. Is this the moment? Is this love's grand entrance? Is this person the embodiment of love? Am I the one? To invoke love is to play the fool, the one more concerned with loving than with the appearance or reputation, the one ready and willing to be vulnerable, abandoning everything that gets in love's way. To invoke love is to be ready to become love, here, now, in everything we do. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready to invoke love in your life? I want to invite you in for a short meditation to just take some deep breaths. Maybe soften your eyes if you like, or close them, get comfortable in your chair. Just think. Breathe deeply. Are you ready? Are you ready to invoke love in the center of your life? And what in the world would that mean? To invoke love is to be ready to become love, here, now, in everything we do. Are you ready? Let us sing.
May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be whole. May you be filled be peaceful and at ease. May we be whole.
I've been talking the last couple of weeks about some of the big changes. If you've been following the Unitarian Universalist world, there's big changes. We went from having 7 principles and 6 sources to instead having 6 shared values with love at the center of it. And on these slides are just some of the kind of, unique, new, creative ways that people are coming up to express this new way of talking about ourselves, about expressing what it means to be Unitarian Universalist. Now for me, and I know that there are many people who might disagree with me on this, I didn't think of it so much as a big change. I thought it was just more shuffling around the 7 principles into something that hopefully is a little bit easier to remember. As many of you also know, what really excites me is that putting love at the center of these values. Because as a denomination, we've embraced this word love. We've been doing it for a long time, right? We know it to be sort of central to our identity. We have Side with Love, which is a big movement within the Unitarian Universalist world. We say, love the hell out of the world. We say things, we need not think alike to love alike. And in this congregation, we say many different beliefs, one loving community. So love comes up all the time, in part because I think it's a much better word for God. It's both a verb and a noun. And when it's invoked, it calls us to our best selves. Our divine spark gets to shine. And because we've also been talking about it for a long time, but it was never actually explicitly stated in our 7 principles. So this is one of the reasons why I'm kind of excited about it. And that's what I wanted to talk about it today. Because what does it mean to then put love at the center of our lives? What does it mean to invoke love? Now, most of the time, we Unitarian Universalists, we talk about love in terms of justice, right? That love is justice in action in the world, right? We love King, who says darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. And hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. So we invoke love to fight against hate. But what we don't really talk that much about is love in our intimate relationships. And I'm not just talking about romantic relationships, but friendships, familial relationships, community relationships, and even work relationships. Love is really all around us. We encounter it every single day of our lives, every single day. But do we ever stop and really acknowledge it? Do we make it central in our lives? So, okay, I'm going to ask you guys, truth time, you two on Zoom. Truth, how many of you verbally say, I love you on a daily basis? Okay. Good third to half of you. How many of you hear, I love you on a daily basis? Again, not a huge number. Now, I think it's kind of fascinating, like, why wouldn't we say something that is so profound and wonderful and amazing in our lives? Now, many of you know that there are 5 love languages. I've preached on this before. It's been out there for a long time. This guy named Gary Chapman, he's kind of like the love doctor. But he talks, there are 5 love languages, right? So there's verbal, which is like saying I love you. There's physical touch. There's doing things for others. And there's being there for others. And then there's gift giving. Now I could talk about each one of these, and maybe someday I'll do a whole series on all these different ways we show love. But I really wanted to talk about verbal ways of showing love today. They're showing love and appreciation and gratitude. Because I don't think we hear it enough in our lives. So how many of you have been to a memorial service? Okay, most people have, right? All right, how many of you been to one here at Orange Coast UU Church? Okay, a little bit less, but they happen. We call them, in our tradition, we call them celebrations of life, right? And that's very deliberate, because I believe that every person deserves to have their life celebrated, to honor who they were and the impact they had on the world and the people around them. And I'll tell you, I love doing actually these services. I actually like them a little bit more than weddings. Weddings are like everybody's kind of like trying to, I don't know, figure everything out. But at memorial services, like everybody's coming with love in their heart. There's so much love in the room, sometimes it's literally palpable. And one of the things that I say each time is grief is just love with no place to go, right? Because we can no longer tell that deceased person how we feel, and so it spills out sometimes in tears and lumps in our throats and a tightening in our chest. And at our celebrations of life, we must always invite people to come up and say a few words about the person. Maybe they tell a story, sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's poignant about them. But it's always about an impression that that deceased person had on that person's life. And that grief needs a place to go, and it comes out sometimes in these wonderful stories and beautiful eulogies that people will write. And my question to you is this: do we tell the people in our lives how much they mean to us when they're alive? Right? Do we have to die to hear nice things? If we can't even hear it anymore? So when was the last time you told someone important to you, whether it's a friend or a family member, how much you loved and appreciated them? And I'm not talking about the passing, hey, love ya, as you go out the door, or anything to a spouse or a child, but the sitting down and telling them why they mean so much to you. What did they do? How were they in your life? Sometimes it might be even telling a teacher or a boss or a coach or that person who just made a big difference in your life and how much they meant to you. And why not? Why don't we do this, right? Why do we hold back in saying, I love you, or you mean a lot to me, or just tell people how important they are? Now, I think I'm pretty good at this in general, but I learned something early on, which unfortunately didn't stick all the way through, but I'll tell you a story. When I was 19, I was living in Seattle, going to school at the University of Washington. And I remember my best friend at the time, her name was Sandy, and Sandy's dad died unexpectedly. She's my age, she was 19, her father was, and I think he was in his late 40s. Had a massive heart attack, died suddenly. And she called me on the phone sobbing and talking about this sudden death. And part of it was that the last words she had said to him were, I hate you, right? Right? Like that, and it's just that thing that you throw out when you're, 19 years old. I hate you, Dad. She didn't mean it. She didn't mean it at all. And I remember getting off the phone from her, and this fear gripped me of like, oh my God, what if my dad died tomorrow? So I immediately called him. I was like, Dad, I love you. And he's like, okay. Thank you, honey. And I explained to him what was going on, and he was very touched by it. I said, I just want you to know that if you were to die tomorrow, die knowing that I love you, okay? And he's like, okay, honey. So I kind of forgot that lesson, because there's two people, when I look back on my life, there are two people in particular that I wish I had told how much they meant to me. And one was, again, when I was in my 20s, and I was an undergraduate, and it was this couple named Tom and Donna. And Tom and Donna, they helped me out a lot. They were first, Donna was originally my sister's roommate. When my sister had dropped out of college, she moved in with Donna, and then Tom and Donna started dating, and they moved into a house. And then I ended up moving in with them, and they supported us. I didn't have family money at all. We didn't have any money. And so I had no financial support. I really didn't have a lot of familial support where I was, but they took us in and helped us so much. And I went off to graduate school in my mid-20s, and I lost touch with them. And every once in a while, like I was just up in Seattle, and I was driving near where we used to live at any rate. I was like, man, I really need to get in touch with Tom and Donna and just tell them how much I really appreciated so much that they did. And then, of course, I promptly forget about it, right? So I actually sent them an email 2 days ago because I was like, all right, Sean, if you're going to be preaching on it, maybe you should actually do something about it. So I haven't heard back from her, but I think it's just really important that we understand how much people have made an impact on our lives. And the second person in particular that I never got to say thank you to was a teacher named Mr. Wire, Mr. Bruce Wire. I tried to find him online. I think he has since passed. It was a long time ago, but he was someone who taught me to see the world in shades of gray and nuance and with love and patience and kindness. And it's too late. I can only say thank you. I hope you can hear me. So don't wait until it's too late. And what about those even that are close to us, right? I think I'm generally pretty good at it. Not perfect, but I'm generally pretty good at it. The ones we see often that are friends or family are family members. There's one person, however, in our congregation that blows me out of the water. She does it really well. And most of you know Sarah Hunter. You all can wave at her. She's on Zoom right now. Say hello to Sarah. She's a member of our congregation who moved to Georgia, and she's still part of this congregation and even sits on our board. I love it. One of the things that I love about it is that she ends every conversation on the phone with, "I love you." And it's not a throwaway. She stops. She says, "I love you." And I love that. It always makes me feel good. It's 100% sincere. She doesn't fling it around. And how many of you, have anybody else heard this from Sarah? All right, you need to call Sarah, and then she'll tell you that she loves you. All right. Like I said, it always makes me feel good. So who in your life right now needs to be told how much you appreciate and love them? Ralph, you need to be appreciated. I love you. Okay. I love you, Ralph. So again, I just want you to think about that. Like, who do you need to tell how much you appreciate them, right? Maybe it's someone in your past to help you through a rough time. Elizabeth just did that recently. She had a party to thank everyone who's been supporting her through a rough year. But maybe it's someone who just last week about a teacher who inspired you, and do you tell them? So let's not wait until we have a celebration of life or a memorial to tell people how much they have meant to us. I want you to do it today and every day, not flippantly, not with a joke, but sincerely taking the time. So I've got 2 challenges for you. All right, first is that person that maybe you've lost touch with. I invite you to reach out to them. You can find most people online. That's how I found Donna again. And the second thing is learn to get comfortable saying, "I love you. I love you. I love you." And in fact, we're going to practice that right now because I love to torture y'all. So get ready to be a little uncomfortable. Okay, so if you're in person, I'm going to invite you to turn to someone that you know, maybe you know them pretty well, right? Now, online people, you can actually do it in the chat. Choose someone in the chat and tell them. Or you can just write a general, "I love you," okay? So I want you to the first thing is turn to someone maybe you know and say to them, "I love you." You can even text them if you want, okay? Richard, I love you. All right, did you turn to someone you don't know and tell them that you love them? Someone you don't know. If you have to get up and walk around and tell that person, You love them. I love you. All right. This is the chaos that love will invoke. I love it. All right. How did that feel saying it? Does it make you feel good? Like it kind of makes you feel... Okay. How did it feel hearing it? Okay. When you heard it, did that little voice pop in your head? Well, they didn't really mean it just because Reverend Sean told them to do it, right? Stop, you're lovable, all right? Get over it. You deserve to hear how lovable and amazing that you are every single day. And I think that the more we spread it around, the more it's going to come back to us. Hello, they're saying I love y'all. What? So, if you don't know how to love, if you aren't sure you can say I love you or how to love a stranger, start with a stone. Start with someone maybe that you know. Look into their eyes and let the beauty of their soul into you. It's simply recognizing the holiness that's inside all of us. And when we do this, love blooms. You know, saying I love you is powerful. It's powerful stuff. Not only can it just make someone's day, it reminds us that not only are we loved, but that others are too. You know, it can kind of make us blush, you know, like, oh, I don't know, oh, thank you, you know. But that red on your cheeks isn't necessarily embarrassment. It's the warmth of knowing that someone cares about you. And here's the thing, expressions of love is the work of justice, and often the most powerful work we can do. To tell people that they are loved reminds them of their best selves and reminds them of their dignity and worth. It reminds us of why we're here on this planet, in this life. Love is what makes life worth living. And as a childless dog lady, which I know I keep harping on, I do have a stake in this world. I want to leave it better than when I came into it. And the only way I know how to do that is through love, centering it in my life. Now, I want to tell you one last story where I saw love and justice in action that to me was so powerful. Now, this happened at our General Assembly, which for those of you who don't know is a big gathering of Unitarian Universalists from all over the country into one spot. It's kind of fun. And this year it was online. It was only online. There was a bit of an experiment. We were also doing the changing of the bylaws, which I mentioned centering love on, right? But it wasn't the only thing that we were voting on at GA this year. Another vote was for a business resolution that said, embracing transgender, non-binary, intersex, and gender diverse people as a fundamental expression of our Unitarian Universalist religious values. Okay? Now, for a long time, Unitarian Universalists have been supporting the queer communities, welcoming congregation certification. We're welcoming congregation certified. We standing up against transphobia, all that sort of thing. But we needed something by way of a business resolution because we know that there are laws being passed against queer communities. And we wanted to say it is our right as a religion to go against those laws. Because right now, religion is king. Right? So for example, when life-affirming care is being denied, right? Heck, bathroom rights. I mean, come on, just let people pee. All right. You know, housing rights, like all of those things, right? We want to be able to say, no, this is our religious right to do this. So to fight against these things. Right? So now the challenge with having an all online conference is that you don't get to see the pro and con line. So that's what they do. Every time there's a vote, first you have a discussion, right? We're democratic, right? So you have the pro line and you have the con line, right? And the problem is that when you have these two lines, you can't really see. Like if you're in person, you could see the pro line being a mile long and the con line just being a few people, which was kind of the case here. They had about 15 minutes to debate the issue, and each person got 1.5 minutes per person to give their opinion. And the person who proposed the thing got to speak first and last. And the person who proposed it, her name is Jacaren Olahoya, and she's a member of our UUA Board of Trustees. So our denominational Board of Trustees. Now, at one point, they even had to stop the conversation because some of the con people were saying was triggering. It was rather ignorant from con people. They weren't vicious or anything like that, but it was still triggering for a lot of people. And at the end, Reverend Jacaren chose to speak again, as was her right, and this video is what she said.
To my trans, non-binary, intersex, or gender diverse beloveds, lean in, lean in. I love you. I love you. I love you. Please do not leave this space without feeling my love and the love of others who see you as divine. I love you. You are divine. I love you. You are holy. I love you. You know who you are. I love you. You are worthy of being whoever you need to be to survive and thrive in this world. I love you, and I will say it for 50 seconds if I need to. I love you. 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 Do not leave this space without knowing that you are loved. If you are ever in doubt, call me, email me, text me, because what we will not do in this space is let you go another moment believing anything other than the fact that you are loved deeply just as you are. I love you. I love you. I love you.
The vote. I'm not even going to respond to that. I want you to know that the vote passed by a landslide. I love you. I love you too, Ms. Conway. Do not leave this space without knowing that you are loved. If you need a reminder, call me, email me, text me. What we will not do in this space is let you go another moment believing anything other than the fact that you are loved. I love you. I love you. I love you. Let us sing.
Please rise, embody your spirit, and let's sing our returning song. Love will guide us. Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us will lead the way on the road from greed to giving. Love will guide us through the hard night. If you cannot sing like a
Don't you love it when she gets all fired up? Unitarian Universalist congregations are fully self-supporting, meaning that members and friends raise all funds for the operating budget, ministries, and programs of the church. We are ever grateful for your gifts of time, treasure, and talent. OCUUC amplifies that spirit of generosity by sharing half the plate we receive with an organization that shares our values. This month, we are continuing to support Ray Elementary School. I believe they start school tomorrow, so they're getting all ready. I don't know how many kids they have, but I have a feeling it's a pretty full house, and I'm sure they really appreciate all the support that we've been giving them. There are multiple ways in which you can support the church and this organization. You can mail a check, you can go through our website, or use an app called Vanco Mobile. If you're a roomer, you can also simply use the basket as it is passed by our ushers, Damon and Gretel, in the back there. The choice is yours. All the information is on our website should you need it. And as always, thank you for your generosity.
In singing We Gather Together, a song that puts our intentions into words and expresses the many gratitudes that we share. We gather together, we gather as one, for peace, love, and justice for everyone. We give from our hearts to show that we care. We can change lives with what we share.
Well, now is that time in the service where we get to honor the important people and events in our lives. It's a weekly ritual we call Joys and Sorrows. I'd like to invite Lori Kluge up here. She's one of our pastoral care team, who is also available for cards, texts, and calls if you need to know how loved you are. She's awesome at it. And everyone is invited to participate. You can be a member, a friend, visitor, everyone, Zoomers, roomers, everyone is invited. And the idea is if you're holding something that you would like to honor, something so profound, a joy or sorrow in your heart, you are welcome to come forward and embody that by lighting a candle. The Zoomers, they can write it in a chat if they like. Roomers, if you want to share it with the congregation, you can write it out on a slip of paper and then hand it to me as you come forward. The ushers have them, and you can just raise your hand and someone will bring you one over to you. So I invite you to come forward, and then we'll read them out loud, also the ones on Zoom, and Lori will light a candle for you on those. So please come forward. The Zoomers, I've got a couple here. Let's see here. Lori M. says, please light a candle of joy because she will be flying to Northern California on Friday to celebrate her grandson Lear's 6th birthday. Aww. And Linda C. said, please light a candle of sorrow for Jesus Cortez, a dear friend of hers who is entering hospice today. I had a couple sent to me as well. So Ralph sent me one because he would like a candle lit because he's joyful that his son Matt, who was hurt in a bike accident recently, is back at work and fully independent. So yay. That's cool. And as Jacob reminded us this morning, today, if you could light a candle for Julian, and we wish him all the best and hope for a wonderful career in audio and visual stuff and composing music and all sorts of wonderful things. And thank you for that improvisation. So, all right, and then here in the room, we have these joys and sorrows. So Mifanwi Kay, she lit a candle of joy for Jacob and all of his team performing at Music Under the Stars last night, and the audience, encore please. We did, a little bit. And Aaron and Amelia N., they lit a candle of joy because they are celebrating their 38th wedding anniversary on Friday. I love this. We are so fortunate to have each other. Yes. And I love all these birthday things coming here. So Gina M. lit a candle of joy, a most happy birthday to the wonderful and inspiring Elizabeth K. So then Elizabeth writes, happy birthday to all my Leos, that is in August, herself, which was actually yesterday, I believe, and Gina, who is tomorrow, and Elizabeth's husband Jacques, who's on the 21st, which I think that's Thursday, and Elizabeth's mom's on the 23rd. And she says, and to any other Leos I may have missed. She says, may the love of family and friends keep you purring all year long. I love it. And Alejandro, he lit a candle of joy. He said, so grateful for a summer of love and connection with old friends and new family that's filled my soul. Worship. Awesome. And let's see here, Marilyn G., she lit a candle of connection, or concern, and of hope. She said, my dear and longtime friend who suddenly was hospitalized for weakness, the initial diagnosis is pancreatic cysts, and a biopsy indicated cancer. So Monday, she flies to Syracuse, New York to be admitted to a cancer center and will be close to her daughter and family at that time. So not only do you have a friend leaving the area, but then you're concerned about her, so we hold her in our hearts. Some of you may know as well that the former minister of this church who served here for 13 years, Reverend Karen Stoyanoff, is also in the hospital, and she is welcoming visits. She's at Memorial Hospital in Fountain Valley. So this is why, if you haven't seen her, that's why she's around. We found that out this week. And Tamara C., she lit both a candle of joy and of sorrow. She said, my sorrow is for the far right's hate is so bad and anti-LGBT, and my joy is this church that helps me get through and the wisdom to take action. Amen. And Maureen M., she lit a candle of sorrow because she said one of the best trails at Irvine Park has been closed because the Irvine Company is going to build houses on it. And she's taken many people, she does an after post-Thanksgiving hike for anybody who wants to work off that Thanksgiving pie. And she says she's taken OCUC hikers on that Puma Ridge Trail several times. So, oh, that's heartbreaking. All right, let us hold in love all the joys and celebrations and all the hurts and sadness, both spoken and silent. Let our joys remind us to be thankful, our concerns remind us to hope, and our sorrows remind us to connect. Let all these moments remind us that we're not alone. Please join Lori in a spirit of prayer.
Psalm 23, recast in the language of love. May I remember in this tender moment that that love is my guide always, shepherding me towards ways of openness and compassion. I have what I need really, with love at my side, above me, below me, in front of me, behind me, inside every cell of me. Love infused everywhere. Just when the weight of the world I inhabit threatens to drop me in place and press my hope down into the ground beneath me, love invites me to rest for a gentle while and leads the center of my soul to the quiet, still, restoring waters nearby. Yes, love blesses me, even as the sources and symbols of my pain look on. Love blesses me from its infinite well, and I turn and notice that goodness and kindness and grace follow me everywhere I go. I live in a house of love, a love that will not let me go. I live in a house of love and always will.
Let us join together as we extinguish the flame of our chalice and say together, we extinguish our chalice, but not the light of truth, the warmth of commitment, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Thank you for joining us this morning. If you're a guest, a visitor, or someone who hasn't yet been known to us, I invite you to become a part of this beloved community. If you would like to know more about our church, we invite you to either stop by the welcome table in the courtyard where we have information. I believe Corey's out there today at the welcome table, or contact us at hello@ocuuc.org and we'll help you get connected. Zoomers are welcome to stay after church and chat with one another online. And I think that's it.
So announcements, I want to let you be aware of a number of different things. First of all, the choir is back. They are rehearsing. They're going to be doing their debut on September 1st, our groundbreaking for the new sanctuary. Yay. So join them on Thursday evenings at 7, I believe. Yep, at 7 o'clock here. If you would like to join the choir, and everybody is welcome. So come on out. This is one of our choir members, is Amy right there. She got up early just for us. So the other thing I want to point out is you notice that we have the Camp de Venable Pines up there, October 4th. It's the all-church camp. So that, I don't know why they say all churches. It's 3 churches in the area, including us. We get together and have an absolute blast up there at Camp de Venable. But note that the adult camp that was earlier this month, I believe, actually got sold out. So if you want to go to this camp, you want to do that now. Sign up. So Randy, right there, see Randy, and he will get you connected for that. So you've got, we're trying to like all these different ways to put everything on the slide up there because we got so much going on in the church. This is a first world problem, as they call it. It's so awesome. We've got so many amazing, wonderful things going on. The big thing coming up is the groundbreaking Sunday. And then after that, we've got the Climate Justice Revival, which you're going to hear a lot more in the coming weeks. And then we have then our fall auction. So put those all on your calendar. Take a picture and put those on your calendar so that you're there. It's going to be absolutely just an amazing couple of months that we're going through. And then there's just weekly stuff. If you want to get involved, just get involved. There's lots of fun things to do. I do want to actually note, you see where it says LGBTQ Action Group up there? That hasn't been up there for a while, has it? So our very own Jamie is starting it back up again. So yay. So if you identify as LGBTQIA, any queer, gender diverse person, or an ally, you are welcome to come. So it's going to be in Suite 7, which is across the courtyard from us. So look out for that. If you don't know what it is, just come and ask somebody, and they'll let you know what that is. So, all right. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Let's let love bloom right here, right now, wherever we are, and get ready. All right, let us sing our benediction.
And all do our part, let us go out, bring joy to each heart, let us go out, with indifference destroy, let us go out with joy, let us go out, and all do our part, let us go out, bring joy to each heart, let us go out, with
service is over. Let our service continue, and don't forget to give Julian a big hug.